hey, TNT, thanks. Because we don't have 1,001 things to watch right now. And then you put Star Wars on for the whole week. Hello, cult members. Welcome to the Pop Culture Cult. I'm Sean.
I'm Janice.
This is take 3. Fuck it. We're just going to roll with it. And we haven't done one of these in a while. We've been doing a lot of trailer reactions and movie reviews, and we did a review for Jessica Jones and stuff like that. We haven't done one of the news, long-form kind of conversation pieces in the last couple of weeks, so we thought we'd do one. Kind of been saving up some stuff that really we care about.
Right. We care.
Because it's, and let's be honest, it's going to be mostly Star Wars and Marvel. Because that's kind of what's ruling the world right now. So,
right.
And a lot of the other talk about stuff really, unless we want to talk about Jessica Jones, you can go watch the review for that. But there's really nothing else kind of going on right now.
Right.
Or the basketball tournament. How's your bracket doing? We also wanted to talk about really quick, we've had a rush of new subscribers to the channel.
Yay.
First off, welcome to the cult. We are more than happy to have you here. Second, what we want to do is kind of tell you that we ask one thing. We do this out of the kindness of our hearts and mostly out of the pocket of and time, whatever time we do have.
Time is money.
Time
is money.
There's a midget pitching me right now. Sorry. The one thing we ask is that you subscribe to this channel, which you already have, but also follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, and also on the Stardust app. Download the Stardust app for free. You can follow all of us. You can just put in Pop Culture Cult and all of those, and they'll all pop up, except for Twitter, because it's got to be weird, right? It's pop_cult1 or whatever.
I don't.
But please
tweet.
Yeah, I don't.
He tweets.
I tweet. I put something on Twitter. I don't know if it actually is tweeting or going out to people, but whatever. But we do a lot of stuff on Facebook. We do a lot of stuff on Instagram. We do a lot of stuff on Stardust. And then, of course, here. So please subscribe to the channel. If you're new to the page and you haven't really seen it, hit the little bell to get notifications when we upload stuff. And then that way. And the other thing, too, is share with your friends. Ask them to come subscribe to the channels and become a part of this conversation that we're having about movies and TVs and cons and stuff.
Right.
And maybe beer. I'm thinking about doing a show on beer.
Oh.
That would be
okay.
Good, bad idea. So let's get into it. We've had a rash of Star Wars news come up over the last couple of weeks that we haven't really covered. Obviously, Star Wars is a big part of what we do around here. We do have Kanan and Ezra sitting over our shoulders, so there's just an idea of where we are. So it came out today that the Last Jedi director, Rian Johnson, has begun working on the scripts for the Star Wars trilogy that he's going to do.
Right. The non-Skywalker
saga stuff. Yeah. And so they were talking to his producer partner, and his name is Ram Bergman, which is a great name.
I think it's Rom.
Is it Rom?
I think that's how they pronounce it.
Rom would be even better because now he's from Tron.
Tron.
Rom Bergman.
So it's kind of like Ron Burgundy.
Oh. Are they brothers?
From another mother,
From
yes.
another mother, that would be appropriate. But they have sat down and they were telling the story at an awards ceremony thing last night that Bergman's quote was, "We've started slowly, but we've started. Hopefully soon we'll be getting much busier." So after the story kind of came out and some of the information came out, it kind of came across to me that they pitched an overall story. This is the idea for our story. They went to Kathleen Kennedy and Lucasfilm and said, "This is our general story. This is what we're thinking.
Yeah.
We want to do a trilogy." And now that what they're doing is the major story, like sitting down and writing the story out itself. More than just an outline, writing out the story, and then they'll have to work on scripts after that.
Right.
Is this good news? Bad news?
Well, they need to get going, right?
Right.
Because if it's coming out now, they haven't
put a date on anything.
Yeah, and they have the two guys from Game of Thrones doing stuff too.
Yeah.
So we don't really know.
And they're doing a series of movies, not necessarily a trilogy. They said a series of movies
Right.
for
Could be
it Benioff, and Wise.
Yeah.
And,
So, but yeah, I mean, because 9 comes out next year,
yeah, next
and
Christmas.
so then, I mean, I don't know if they want a year in between, then they need to get going.
Yeah. They just announced that the 9 starts filming in May or June at Pinewood in London. So,
Right.
Pinehurst, Pinewood. I'm gonna go with Pinewood. Someone told differently. It's pine of wood like description. Anyways, but are you nervous about this after seeing Last Jedi and having questions about his storytelling process, or
I don't necessarily have questions about his storytelling process. I think that he can do that. I just don't think that coming in the middle, I don't necessarily blame Ryan Johnson for this.
right?
I more blame Kathleen Kennedy. Lucasfilms. I don't know. I think having a different director was just a bad idea.
Yeah, I agree. They should have had JJ do them all. They should have done whatever it would have taken to have JJ to do them all.
Yeah, or whoever did 7, do 8, and do 9, because it's to me it's painfully obvious that what JJ had planned is not how Ryan picked it up and interpreted it.
JJ did talk about how after reading Ryan Johnson's script that he wished he was directing it. He was very vocal about saying, this script is amazing. I wish I was directing it. Not saying that he thought it was his idea, like upset about his ideas or whatever being changed. He looked at it and went, this is really awesome. I want to direct it.
Right.
And I'm wondering if they should have done that with just have Ryan Johnson write all the stuff JJ puts in his input with the story group and then have JJ direct them all.
Maybe. I don't know what the original script looked like, but I know that, I mean, I just feel like it didn't quite pay homage to the Skywalker story. Yeah. I don't know what you call a 9
it's
9
the saga.
movie.
It's the saga.
Okay, that's
the Skywalker saga.
Right.
That's really
that
what
works.
it is.
Yeah.
Because you get Anakin, and now you've got Luke's the connective tissue, and now you have that Ren guy. He is a Skywalker, even though he's Solo's kid. I'm really looking forward to what Johnson's gonna do, but the big thing for me is, as much as I love The Last Jedi, I actually posted today that my new order as of today, this is before the Blu-ray has come out, was 5, 4, R1, Rogue One, 8, 7, 6, 3, 2, 1, Clone Wars, because Clone Wars is always last. So I really liked Last Jedi, and it could possibly move up, and it could possibly move down, depending on how many more times I see it and everything else that goes around it. But I really, really liked that they took risks with it and everything. Now, I understand the criticisms that people have about the lack of connectivity with canon and some of the stuff that happened in Canto Bight. But I liked that he took risks, because people were complaining that they didn't take any risks in Force Awakens.
Yeah.
And then they took too many risks. So, internet, where's the medium ground in here?
Right.
That kind of thing.
Yeah.
And so
he can write a new story and tell that the way he wants to tell it, all he wants.
And Star
stop
Wars,
messing with my Star Wars.
Wow, old lady, get off the lawn.
Get
here.
off my lawn.
I like the idea of him be able to tell his own story, whatever that universe happens to be.
Yep.
Also, they talked about last week it came out that Jon Favreau is going to be the head executive producer and write for the live action Star Wars TV show that we're getting on the streaming service.
Right.
Now, the internet, some sources said he was going to write and direct the entire series. He don't have time to write and direct the whole series. And he tried really hard to get A Force Awakens. Like he campaigned to do it, and then they went with JJ. Now I would have not been upset if they had picked John at all, but it would have been a different, very different universe at that point in time. And then Disney turned around and gave him Jungle Book. So,
Right.
and it's and now we're getting Lion King, right? And so, which is taking up probably a lot of his time.
Oh, yeah.
The live action
Oh, yeah.
Lion King. But I like this general idea. I like that John wants to write. He has an idea for a TV series, and it sounds like they're going to put some like Game of Thrones money behind this series.
Well, they're going to have to, right, to get people to buy their streaming service. I mean, you can put all the library on there that you want, but if you're a diehard Star Wars fan, you own them all. If you're a diehard Disney, animated, Bambi and Cinderella and all that, you own those.
Right.
So I'm not going to pay for a streaming service when I can just pull the DVD off and put it in the...
I think that's part of why they're going after that Fox deal so hard, is they get everything that Fox owns,
again,
and then that'll be all...
you have to have new content to get people to pay.
Look what Netflix and Amazon are doing right now. If that's the model we're going off of, you're going to have to put a bunch of new stuff on
Right,
there.
yeah.
And they're already talking about doing an animated series for Star Wars. They're already talking about doing some Disney animated stuff. And we know that the live action Star Wars stuff is coming. But the outside of that, there's really no other draw right now. Now, that's not coming out until 2019 as a streaming service.
Right. They got all kinds of time.
But the only thing that really was a damper on this announcement is they did announce it on Thursday, which was International Women's Day. And some of the people on the internet were very upset that another white man had been hired to run something in the Star Wars universe, and they decided to announce it on International Women's Day.
Yeah.
Timing is bad.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know what they were thinking when they decided to announce it on Thursday, but
we don't full disclosure here in the pop culture cult household, we don't like Hallmark holidays, so we don't do Valentine's Day or Arbor Day or or Father's Day or Mother's Day or whatever. If you need a day to tell somebody you love them, then there's something wrong with your relationship. Something on the calendar, right? And so International Women's Day is kind of that same thing. However, it's a big deal. It's a big deal in the current culture of Me Too movement and more right representation of people of color, of people of women's rights, gay rights, transgender rights, and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So that was the wrong day. Wednesday, Friday, great story.
Right.
But a white guy getting hired to run something, and again, now I'm sorry, Jon Favreau is outside of the him being announced for anything is outside the critiquing that another white guy got a job. Just not on that day.
I mean, I get it, because Kathleen Kennedy is kind of not ingratiating herself right now. She keeps talking about, she talks all this, that Disney and Star Wars, and we're all, we've got all these women in the office, and it's like, okay, but they're in the office,
and they are diversifying. And the one thing that's really cool about the TV series is they're going to be able to they're going to run 12, 15 episodes, right? That means they can have 12 or 15 different directors, which means they can take risks on everybody.
Right. And we were talking about that with Jessica Jones, how different women directed those. And that's an awesome platform, because there aren't a whole lot of big name female directors out there right now. So your pickings are slim.
Right.
So if they have more of kind of that stepping stone, or that step before making a big name movie.
A lot of now there's are exceptions to the rule. Steven Spielberg did it, but like where you directed in TV,
Mm-hmm.
and then did a small movie and then
Mhm.
work your way up to a big movie.
Well,
Even
yeah,
Steven
and
Spielberg did that.
but stuff it's different now, right? So I mean,
Yeah.
Netflix and Amazon are like, you could do a series and it is almost like directing a movie.
Yeah. Yeah. And
Even just one episode,
just
you've
one-
got much bigger budgets and much bigger audience potential, I think. Just the kind of
than that like regular network television
yeah.
was. Yeah, absolutely. And let's be honest, if you're attached to something like Game of Thrones or the Marvel Defenders series or all those or Star Wars or whatever, your name is going to be known as a director of whatever episode right off the bat. We know the directors for Stranger Things. We know the directors of every episode because it's such a phenomenon, and we're all talking about it on the internet, so that all gets out there more and more and more. So I like that idea and stuff. So lots of really good stuff coming out of the Star Wars universe, the Star Wars movie universe and stuff. We got the new Han Solo posters after the debacle of the Jazz ones that got
you can get sued for.
And for us locally, we have Phoenix Comic Fest coming Memorial Day weekend, and it was announced today that we got Greg Gumberg, who's coming, who plays Snaps Wexley. It's hard to say. The Grimes of Grindelwald. So
JJ's best friend, who is got a part in all of JJ's stuff. So he's in Star Wars and Star Trek and Lost and Heroes, and
he was on Alias and all kinds of stuff. So I'm really excited to see him, and he was part of the show with Kevin Smith and Tiffany Smith called Geeking Out, which I'm hoping I hope when that comes back.
Oh yeah,
so I might be running up to the microphone during the panel. Like, hey, is this coming back? And we're getting Kevin Smith the week of my birthday, and we're going to go see him. So I'm going to see if I can get a question on that one too. So and the other part of the DC the Disney the Disney mega structure that
Disney
is
universe
of whatever, the Marvel movies are controlling the world.
Black Panther specifically.
Black Panther, Wakanda is controlling the world. Black Panther officially crossed the $1 billion mark, not this weekend, but the weekend before. And then this last weekend, it was the #1 movie for the 5th weekend in a row. The last movie to do that was Avatar, I believe. And Avatar did it for 7 weeks in a row. Or six weeks in a row. So if they are #1 next weekend, they'll be the 6th week in a row. They'll match Avatar. They will never reach Titanic. Titanic was 15 weeks in a row.
Yeah, that's
#1.
Never going to happen again because there's just too many movies coming out.
Too many blockbusters coming out.
Back to back to back.
I'm really interested to see what happens this weekend with Pacific Rim Uprising. And see because that's the same kind of audience for both movies.
Yeah.
So far, it's made $605 million domestically, which is ridiculous because it's going to pass Avengers.
Yeah.
Avengers is like 650, I think, total domestically. So it's going to pass that. And then it's made $1.185 billion worldwide, and Avengers made $1.518 billion worldwide. So come on, guys, we only have $400 million to go to be the #1. I just want freaking Black Panther. I love them. I love Avengers, right? But just Black Panther being the highest grossing MCU movie.
Yeah.
We can't have a black guy being the lead superhero guy. We can't have a bunch of women who kick ass and suck my dick. Shut up. You know it was awesome.
Now, did the Avengers numbers, was that just in the theaters, or did that include DVD sales?
That was
and all
just
that?
box office.
Okay.
Just box office. So it wasn't including DVD sales.
Okay.
And about every 3 weeks it shows up on TV on some channels. So it's all the rights for that was sold off too. So I think they made their money back on that one.
Yeah.
It's kind of weird and maybe kind of whatever.
Yeah.
I will talk about the box office in a second, but I want to talk about Infinity War. On Friday, we got the last trailer. If we get another trailer, I'm going to start having hissy fits because I don't want to see anything else.
Yeah, and this trailer was all new.
Yeah, it was all brand new footage.
Yeah.
All brand new footage.
Yeah.
Still have no fucking clue what's going on, but it's all brand new footage. So I took Friday off of work because I have a million hours of sick time, and we had a free day at work, and so I'm like, I'm staying home, and I'm like, I'll wake up and I'll have some breakfast, and then the trailer will come out about 9:30, 10 o'clock or whatever, and I'll do a trailer reaction, and then I can go do stuff for my day and whatever. I get up at 8:30. I'm checking my Facebook as I'm drinking my coffee, and the fucking trailer's all over the place.
Yep.
Dropped at 6 o'clock in the
Yep.
morning.
And tickets are already
and
on sale.
Tickets were already on sale.
I, however, am at work. Like, do I text him? No, he's asleep. Do I text him? No, he's asleep. Wake up and buy tickets and do the video and.
I will tag my reaction to the new trailer at the end of this. That's the only thing I have to say. But the thing about this is that it sold the highest grossing pre-sales of any movie ever. Now, they've only been tracking this for about 5.5 minutes. But it beat Black Panther and Justice League and BVS and all those.
Black Panthers, that's probably the most relevant, and Justice League, sort of, I guess, because, they're every minute movie theaters are going to online tickets.
Yeah.
We still have movie theaters here that don't do it, but every
Arkansas
month
needs to get their act together, or they're gonna be left behind.
Yeah.
They're slowly starting to change the theaters over. But it's the future, and if adapt or die, right? And not ride or die. That's something completely different. But adapt or die, and so some theaters have been able to do that, and with Fandango, they've been really doing it. Fandango did this survey. More than 1,000 moviegoers who got tickets for Infinity War were asked to do this survey. And here was the results. And I think this is fucking hilarious. 97% can't wait to see how dozens of heroes work together in the same film.
Gosh.
Who was the 3% who were like, I don't know, I bought tickets for this thing because I could be a whatever. Of course, that's the reason you're buying a ticket.
They want to see who dies.
The 3% want to see if Hawkeye dies, since he's not in the poster. 94% are excited to see the different franchise characters meeting in one film for the first time. Did you not see Avengers 1 or Avengers 2 or Avengers 2.5, which was Civil War? Or, didn't you see any of those movies? They're all
But that still wasn't all of them.
No, not all of them, no.
Right.
But it says excited to see different franchise characters meeting up for the first time, which has already happened.
But, like, Guardians of the Galaxy has never met up with everybody else.
Right, because they're in a galaxy far, far away.
No, that's a different...
Oh, okay, sorry. 92% see Infinity War as the culmination of all the MCU films before it.
Duh.
So 8% of you are like, I don't know.
They don't know what they're buying tickets for.
The guys at Screen Junkies were like, they were just, at this point in time, they were just hitting how to get out of the survey.
Yeah.
No. 87% have seen all of the MCU movies. 100% of the people that are on your screen right now own all of the MCU movies.
Except for Black Panther, because it's not out yet.
I'm sure I can find a bootleg somewhere. 71% saw Black Panther on the big screen twice. Almost 3 times. And 60% claim that Black Panther made them even more excited to see Avengers and Infinity War. Now, that one I actually agree with.
Yeah.
Like that was the one where I'm like highly likely or whatever it ends up being in those surveys, right? Where you're like, are you highly likely to see this because of Black Panther? Yes, I'm even more excited to see Infinity War after seeing the trailer, knowing that a lot of stuff goes on from Wakanda.
And what was the movie before that was the Guardians of the Galaxy 2.
Right.
And some of us here liked it more than others.
Yes, we did. And the other half is wrong.
So I can personally say that Guardians 2 did not get me excited to see
Right. I get that.
Infinity War.
But Black Panther was kind of a prequel for
Yeah.
Infinity
Yeah.
War.
Well, it's coming out. It came out 2 months before, so they
Yeah,
better make
yeah.
it a prequel.
And there's obviously a direct connection between the two, right?
Mhm.
And so and there's a post-credit scene that has to deal with Infinity War and Wakanda and stuff like that.
And what was the thing I told you about yesterday, that search sites have seen a 20% increase in travel searches to travel to Wakanda?
Yes.
It's not a real place, people.
However, if when Disneyland decides to buy the land and build Wakanda in Africa, we all of our happy asses are going because it's fucking amazing. Back to the weekend box office. I wanted to talk about this for a minute. Black Panther won the weekend with $27 million. Tomb Raider was second with 23.5. I Can Only Imagine was 17 million. A Wrinkle in Time is 16.2, and Love Simon is 11.7. So Black Panther again is just sucking the money from everybody else on the entire planet for everything that's going on.
Is I Can Only Imagine the Jesus movie?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
We were watching Collider guys today, and they are like way more into the knowing every little nuance of the movies that are coming out, and they're like, this movie came out? It's some fake.
And the only reason we knew about it was because it was a preview for A Wrinkle in Time.
Yeah.
We were like, what is this movie? I've never heard of it.
But the big things, the Love Simon making 11 almost $12 million is a really good sign for that movie. Everybody says it's really good. It's a good coming of age story. It's not necessarily like a gay character for having a gay character. Jeremy Johns is like, him being gay is important, and it's the main part of the story, but it's not the crutch in which they stand on for the whole movie.
Right. Okay.
And so that's a really good sign and stuff.
Yep.
But the big two huge disappointments is Tomb Raider opening for only 23 million, and A Wrinkle in Time 16.2, 51% drop from week 1 to week 2. And Disney has been pushing Wrinkle in Time since D23 last year.
Yeah.
We did a review on it. It was okay. It was mediocre. So I'll tag that one at the end here. But Tomb Raider only opening for 23.5 with Alicia Vikander, and all the like everybody says everybody says it's good. I won't say
good,
really
not
good.
really good.
Everybody says it's good.
People were saying it's decent, but it's not. I don't know. There's a lot of competition out there, not just even right now. I mean, for Tomb Raider, Jumanji, right? Jumanji just came out a couple of months ago, and it was awesome.
Yeah.
And so everybody's expectations are way up here.
Yeah.
And you either need to rise to that or budget that you're just not going to make $100 million in the theaters.
Yeah, unless you are attached to Marvel, attached to Star Wars, or is something, Ready Player One has a chance, I think, because it's Spielberg.
Yeah.
To have a really big open.
Yeah.
I was thinking maybe 120 at one point in time, but I think they'd be really happy at like 65 to 70 for an opening weekend.
Yeah.
I think they would be really happy with that. The problem with Ready Player One is the weekend after. So it's this weekend is Pacific Rim. Next weekend is Ready Player One. Then we have something else. But Ready Player One only has like maybe 2 weeks until the next big, huge whatever it is comes out. And
Rampage. They moved Rampage up to get away from Han Solo. And was it Daredevil? Or Deadpool?
Deadpool. I thought Deadpool. Yeah, maybe Deadpool's that first week in April or second week in April or something like that.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's like if I was a studio, I understand the summer blockbuster now starts in March, but I would have taken Tomb Raider and put it in the middle of July. That's a perfect middle of July movie.
Yeah.
For me, I'm not in this business. I'm not in that business, right? So I would have put that in the middle of July where there was kind of a hole of stuff.
Yeah, but I mean, they didn't. they don't know, right? I mean, it used to be you picked your weekend and that's the weekend that your movie came out. And
Yeah.
now you pick your weekend and hope nobody moves, which
Yeah.
seems to happen more and more and more.
And let's be honest, Disney's flinging their big black dick around on everybody and like claiming all these spots.
Yeah.
They've already claimed 6 dates for till 2020 for their Marvel stuff. They've got the dates for everything in this saga, the Star Wars saga set up.
Yeah.
And so, and not including, they've got Lion King, they've got Mary Poppins, they've got all the other stuff that's coming out. They're doing a live action Lady and the Tramp. I saw that today too. So they're going to claim that spot. So now everybody else is scrambling for everything else. And
Are
it's
they
just,
going to do a live action Lady in the Tramp?
I don't know. I didn't read the article.
Hmm.
I not every cartoon needs to be live action. I'm sorry. It just doesn't need to be. That's
I don't know. We'll see.
a couple of the little news nuggets that we wanted to talk about. Nicolas Cage is finally getting to play Superman. He's going to be the voice of Superman in the Teen Titans Go movie. Now, there's a documentary out there called The Death of Superman Lives. It was directed by John Schnepp from Collider Video, who does Heroes and comic book shopping and stuff like that. He comes to Phoenix Comic-Con. We're buying a copy of this so we can sit there and talk to him about it when he comes here.
Okay.
But he put this documentary together about how Tim Burton was going to direct Nicolas Cage in a Superman movie, and this was post Christopher Reeves, but before the Superman Returns and before Man of Steel, right? And Tim Burton's take on Superman Lives was I have visions of things going through my head.
I envision it could have gone up against the Christopher Nolan Batman, kind of the same
darkness
gritty,
and stuff like that. He actually ended up leaving the project because of issues with the script and budget issues. He wanted to spend a lot of money and make it really big, and the studio's like, no, we don't want to do that. And so
wait, DC wouldn't let somebody direct their movie?
At that point in time, I don't think that was DC. Well, it was Warner Brothers, but I mean, it's a theme with Warner Brothers. They don't know what they're doing. So fast forward 20 years. They're gonna do a Teen Titans Go movie. Teen Titans is on Disney XD. It's Cartoon Network, and so it's like well received. It's apparently really good, but it's it's a preteen kind of show or whatever.
Yeah.
But they're gonna do a full-on animated film, and they've got a bunch of really good people coming in. But Nicolas Cage is going to be able to play Superman finally and voice it over.
Yep.
Now, Teen Titans Go, cool on everybody who loves the show, whatever. It's just not really in my wheelhouse or her wheelhouse. However, Nicolas Cage voiceover, full Nicolas Cage. I mean, there's
might have to watch it just to see.
It just come on. I mean, it'd just be worth it just to see it. And it's nice to see. I've never heard anything bad about Nicolas Cage, so I'm just gonna say this: that it's good that sometimes karma gets caught up. It may take 20 years, but karma gets a chance. He named his son Kal-El.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's a big deal for him. So having the chance to finally do it is kind of awesome. And then the last story that we want to talk about, because we've talked about the Constantine TV show that was out on Fox for a season, and then Fox pulled a full Fox and said, this show is too good to be on our station.
They went all Firefly on Constantine.
Yeah. And so Matt Ryan, who plays Constantine on the show, was amazing.
Mm-hmm.
He was great, and everybody loved him, and it got good ratings, and I have no idea why they just got away from the show. I have no idea. It was good ratings for a Friday night.
Because they weren't getting a bazillion people watching it and weren't understanding that a bazillion people just don't watch network TV anymore.
Right.
Whatever.
And so CW bought the rights to Constantine, including the rights to have Matt Ryan. They put it on the CW Seed, which I still is the worst name for a streaming service ever. Have you been on my seed? Have you seen my seed? So creepy. And when you say CW seed, porn music starts playing in the background. It's just really weird. But so they've been playing all that, but then Matt Ryan has been doing the voiceover for Constantine on an Avengers kind of style DC animated show on the Seed. And then he's been showing up on Arrow, and then he showed up a bunch on this season on Legends of Tomorrow. Well, it came out today that they're going to have Constantine as a regular next season on Legends of Tomorrow.
Yay.
Which is awesome.
Yep.
That's the cool thing about Legends is that it's built to be flexible.
Right. Characters can come in and ride the ship for a while. And
Tiny-Wimey ship.
Yeah.
And you know, people have come and gone on that show.
Yep.
And it's cool too because that show doesn't take itself too seriously.
Yeah, definitely.
And we've talked about this a couple times on this show, but we'll remind everybody here we haven't watched it this season. We found that we both really like Legends, Arrow, and Flash, but we want to binge it all.
Yeah.
So what we're doing is because of the deal that they have with Netflix and CW, as soon as the season's over, the entire series is on they post it to Netflix. And we also don't have regular cable anymore, and so watching it on the Seed,
it sucks.
It sucks. It just I don't know if it's their connection, our connection, the way they're set up or whatever, but it doesn't work well with our PlayStation or our computer or anything.
Yeah,
like
we
that.
can't play. Yeah, I think it's them because we can't watch it on anything that we try to stream it on.
And not for lack of trying. And I've been really good about not reading anything about anything this season, even though Katie Lutz and Stephen Amell keeps posting shit. God damn it! I need to get caught up. And so I'm really excited to see the season now next year.
Yeah.
And see how it works out and stuff.
Yeah.
And so I think that's it for this week. You want to talk about anything else?
No, we're gonna go watch the last 2 episodes of Alias. 2 of the last 3 episodes of Alias.
Something like that. And then we might do a review once we get done with Alias.
And then we need to watch X-Files.
And then we need to sit down and do a binge of X-Files.
Yes.
We're saving it all up. So that's our show this week. Like I said, a little bit more long-form, opinionated news kind of stuff. Like I said earlier, please follow us, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell so you get the notifications.
Ding.
Follow us on Facebook at PopCultureCult, PopCultureCult1, Instagram, Pop_Cult1 on Twitter. I'll do that again. Pop_Cult1 on Twitter, because fucking Twitter. And the Stardust app, we react to everything. Doing Magicians right now every day on the treadmill. So as soon as I'm done with the treadmill, I walk in and I put it on and I breathily try to explain what happened in the episode. It's very sexy. I'm very sweaty.
Yeah.
Sometimes it makes sense. Today we robbed a bank because I would have used my powers for evil too. So please download the Stardust app and follow us. And until next time, good night now.